What is up, you guys? I am here. It's been a while since I have posted some content, but I have been on the road, as most of you know when I posted before. I'm on tour with the Harlem Globetrotters. Super happy, super blessed, super excited. And today we have another game. We are in Kentucky. So, I figured while I remember. And it's on my mind to get better with doing content. Let's just do some behind the scenes, give you a better picture of what it's like to be an athletic trainer, especially with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I can't give you too many details without the players' consent, of course, but hopefully I will give you some behind the scenes, some cool information, and you'll see what I do. Pre-game, right now I got here before the players, which usually I do. They're on their way now. Me and the staff members get here before the players do to set up for the court, the locker rooms, all that jazz. So I'm waiting for my stuff to get off the truck now, and we'll get right to it, and I'll show you what it's like to be an athletic trainer with the Harlem Globetrotters. Alrighty guys, check it out. Comment below, subscribe. This will be on YouTube. And yeah, if you want more content like this, again, subscribe, ask questions, let me know what you want to see, what you want to know. Alrighty guys, let's stay tuned for more. What is up, you guys? Here again. Just wanted to give you a tour really quickly. I can't do too much right now, but we are actually in a training room for real today. So this is where we are at. Currently, we're at a university. There's actually practice going on in the background, so if you hear some guys screaming, that's just men's basketball here. So again, normally, I don't always get access to a training room when I'm out here on tour with the Harlem Globetrotters. Sometimes I do, most of the time I don't. Today, lucky day for you guys. We are just filming on a day where I get a training room. So I'll do a little brief tour. Again, I can't do too much right now because, again, HIPAA laws. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get fired. So we're not going to do too much filming just because the other team, the school's team here, is practicing. But once they're done, if we have some time, I'll definitely try and take you on a more in-depth tour. So we'll see. But again, here we are. This is the training room. As you can see, we got some tables here. We got some equipment here. We'll get some ice machines in the back there. And we got some equipment over here as well. And then the back, we have some offices there. So again, small quick tour right now, but again, we are lucky because we don't always get access to a training room, and I know the guys are going to be super happy about it. Here we got the women's locker room. Again, I'm not going to go in there. Nobody's in there, but we'll respect privacy. Oh, here she is. Female Harlem Globetrotter. But we'll let her rock out. We got the main Globetrotter room because or actually that's the referee in Globey, if you saw the sign. Coach is off locker room coming up, and I think the Harlem Globetrotters is actually on the other side, but I'm not thinking about all the way over there right now. So, okay, let's see what we got coming up next. So here we are in the training room. Like I mentioned before, I can't really go into too much detail about the exact injury. Even though I did have the athlete's permission, I'm just not going to do that and put all his business out there, especially with this going on the internet. And him, to some degree, being a public figure, with being a Harlem Globetrotter. But I will discuss, what I'm doing, the nature in which I'm taking care of him as far as, why I'm doing what I'm doing and explaining a little bit more detail my personal philosophy around treatment. But before I really get into all of that, I will first say that being an athletic trainer for the Harlem Globetrotters is absolutely a really unique experience compared to just about any industry, as each organization, industry, population is going to have its unique caveats that are, you're only going to see in that, you know, type of organization. But again, the Harlem Globetrotters, in my mind, is so unique because they play every single day. So if you can think of, again, professional, college, of all levels, whether that's NCAA, JUCO, NIA, or even high school, again, at all levels in all, parts of the country, even the world, they're not playing every single day. They might be practicing every single day, but it is very rare for an organization or a team to have a game every single day. Now, Harlem Globetrotters is a bit of both, where they're playing basketball, but it's about entertaining and performing. But still, they're using their bodies for their occupation. So, my role in this type of industry environment is really focusing on how do we maintain their physical health and sometimes even their mental health, because as you can see, in this clip, I've been talking to the athlete, and I'm pausing. We're not just sitting there in silence. So, but how do we maintain their physical health so that they're not breaking down, throughout the tour? Just because, again, playing every day, even if it's not to the same intensity as a competitive basketball game, which most of the guys on the team have played college basketball or professional basketball overseas. Some even played in the G League. It's not the same, and it doesn't allow you time that you would typically have to really take care of your body in between games and to really recover from the activity that you did prior so that you can again perform better the next day or the next game or whatever have you. So it's really, it's not a challenge per se, but it's really about focusing on what you can accomplish, not really putting too much stress and emphasis on myself to get everything done just because I'm not going to be able to do that. Thankfully, this is an incredible young man, which he's not super young, but he is a young man. And he does an incredible job of doing his part to show up. Now, am I, trying to indirectly throw anybody else under the bus? Absolutely not. It's just everybody prioritizes their health and their wellness differently. And, it is what it is. It's not a good or bad thing. Some people don't need a whole lot to get ready for a game, and some people know that they need every and anything to get ready for the game or to get ready for their day. Just like there's some people who need to get up 2-3 hours before they get up in the morning to go to work because they need that time to themselves, and there's people who can or unfortunately, they wait till the last minute to get up and they're a bit rushed, but it works for them. Last thing before I really get into my philosophy and really share more details about what exactly I am doing and what all these wires and everything is on him. My main goal as an athletic trainer, thanks to my mama, pointing it out, shout out to Mama Mo. And I think, it's something that isn't really discussed. Being an athletic trainer, I think, I was grateful enough to have a really great undergrad opportunity where we touched on sports psychology, but I don't even think this topic was really discussed as heavily as it should be. But my job as an athletic trainer is building relationships because I work with people. At the end of the day, I'm working with people to better themselves physically and making sure that they can perform. So, like, up until this point, yeah, you see me doing all this work and setting all this up, but you also see me talking to these guys. talking to the main one that was in the video and talking to this awesome gentleman, the mascot who came in as well, who, I give, him treatment as well when he needs it. But more importantly than anything, it's really being present and really being invested in the person. And the main way that you're going to accomplish that in terms of being invested and building that trust is building and working on the relationship and rapport with people, which, it's not an easy task because there are many personalities and, working styles and just so many different things that go into what makes an individual an individual. And just, their backgrounds, where they come from, all of that. So if you're not in the business of learning people, working with people, figuring people out, then baby, this job is not for you, because it's going to be a challenge and it's going to be overwhelming because, again, it's multiple personalities that you have to work with at one time. And that in itself is not easy at all. Now, I really want to touch upon, again, my philosophy around what it is that I do exactly. Up until this point, you see me setting him up, propping, giving him heat and, setting him up with different machines on him. If you look back in the earlier clip, you saw me have a heating pad on his shoulder. And you may have saw some pads around his knee, some white pads. That is called electrical stimulation. No, I am not electrocuting him, but it is electricity. The best way that I try and explain what it is, for one, to describe the feeling of what it feels like on your skin or on your body, think of like when your arm falls asleep and you are trying to wake it up. And when you're trying to wake it up, it starts to get those pins and needles sensation. That is kind of what it feels like. But it absolutely can make your muscle contract involuntarily, as well as it helps to block some of the pain that is felt in that specific body part wherever you place the pads. In addition to that, you saw some heat, which we all know what heat is. It warms up the body. And now you see me working with an ultrasound modality. And that is what they call therapeutic equipment within sports medicine as well as physical therapy, a modality. So ultrasound, yes, it is similar to what you see when you're in the hospital asking for an ultrasound on a pregnant woman. But we are not asking for an image in this instance. So no, there is no baby in his knee. But the technology is the same. So we are using the sound waves from the ultrasound head to transmit heat through the gel so that the sound waves can travel through the gel and get into the body more safely, as well as the substance that we put on the skin helps to transmit the sound waves, because otherwise nothing would be felt, and if anything we would actually break the tool, because the sound waves have to transmit through some type of fluid, a water-based fluid, in order to get into the body. So there's a little science for you. So again, the goal of this is kind of the same as the heat, where we're trying to heat up the body, but at a deeper level. It does get really hot, so that is why you see me doing circular motions. If I were to hold it in one place, the person would be burned, basically. So in addition to that, we are also trying to create an environment within the cells of the particular tissue that we're working on, whether it's muscle, tendons, ligaments, whatever have you. We're trying to create an environment within those cells to help the body heal itself. And that's basically more of what I do. I'm not necessarily healing him in that moment and curing whatever it is that he's having, issues with, but I'm trying my best to help the body to heal itself. And give the body what it needs to heal itself, because sometimes it needs a little help. And so moving forward into what I'm doing now, this is called Graston. So think of it this way. My philosophy is sequence or layers, whichever, makes more sense to you. But my analogy that I'll use is like a recipe for a cake. You have to follow the recipe and the steps in order to get the end result that you want. So if you miss a step, if you miss an ingredient, you're not going to get the end result that you want. So I'm trying to prepare the body in a sequence, or, in layers, so to speak, so that the end result is, whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish in that, session, whether it's reducing the pain, reducing the swelling, increasing flexibility, decreasing the tension and tightness that they feel in their body. Whatever the end goal is, I am trying to be systematic and sequential in how I implement the different skills that I use to help the body basically heal itself and recover and prepare and be ready to perform. So we heat up the body, we try to eliminate the pain with the electrical stimulation. We also try to, loosen up the body and get blood flow with the heat. You saw me use the Graston tool, which is that metal tool that you just saw, to help break up any adhesions or tightness or tension in the muscles. Also, sometimes ligaments and tissue have a tendency of bunching up, which can also create tightness and pain around certain joints and muscle groups. And for me personally, I'll go back and forth between doing massage using my hand as well as using the Graston tool, just because for me, both is really useful. As I finish up with this athlete's knee, I am just, again, trying to finish up whatever I'm working on here with regards to the tightness and discomfort that this athlete is feeling within his knee, and just trying to do as much as I can in the moment to alleviate any tension, any pain, any discomfort, so that they can, again, perform to their best ability. And I'm trying to prioritize what is most important. So, again, I can't fix everything, and I would love to incorporate rehabilitation exercises and do a lot more, but it is not only him that needs treatment. There are other athletes that need work as well. So again, that relationship and building that rapport with the athlete is super important, because after this, it's going to be his job to do what he needs to do with regards to his body. To finish it off for this athlete, we're going to go and do some manual therapy on his shoulder. Manual therapy can mean so many different things, and I do not have time to go into great detail about what that means. But in this particular video, in this clip, when it comes to manual therapy, I'm trying to do what's called active release, where I'm applying pressure and tension to a specific muscle group in his shoulder in particular, to help the muscle to relax, essentially. So, other ways of accomplishing that would be literally like a massage. Again, in these type of environments, with regards to time and just, really trying to get the most bang for your buck in the moment, it's really helpful to use active release. And typically active release would require the athlete to also move their body part, because they would actively be moving that body part. But I would also say, if I'm moving their body part, that is in some ways active release as well, because we're going through that range of motion again to try and help those muscles to relax. So without discussing too many details of his, injury, it's just a lot of overtraining and overuse that is leading to some imbalances within the muscle. So the shoulder muscles aren't really working together, and therefore they're creating a lot of tightness and discomfort for this athlete. Lastly, in regards to the hands-on work that I do for my job, is stretching. And as you can see, I am here starting first with the massage gun to, again, try and get the muscles relaxed. The vibration and the tempo of the massage gun, again, is just trying to help the muscles to be pre-relax them essentially before stretching, making it easier to get a better stretch. So again, in this environment, we travel every day. They're sitting on a bus for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on the day that we have travel. So sometimes the majority of the athletes aren't really dealing with any injuries. It's literally just being tight from sitting from so long. Or, not all of them are just as flexible in the most, honest of ways. So, this athlete here is pretty good, decent. But, it's not saying it's good or bad. They still are able to perform. I come from a life in sports where flexibility was super important. So, that's somewhat, of a thing that I love to incorporate and love to educate and, give people the tools and resources to better their flexibility and mobility, not just for their sport, but just life as a whole. Just because, no matter what you do, being flexible and mobile is important. So again, among everything else that I've done, stretching is probably one of the main things I do. I would love to say, all my athletes stretch on their own and they do their due diligence, but realistically, sometimes they don't really have time to do it. So if they come in and, I can give them a quick stretch and massage gun for in less than 5 minutes, then, they're going to do that just because of the time that we have before the game. And there's other things that they have to do before the game even starts. So we're, again, prioritizing is the most important thing. Lastly, before we get into the main event, is documentation. Like doctors, nurses, pretty much any type of medical professional, even psychiatrists and psychologists, recording what I do is extremely important, especially in the event that, let's say, there's an athlete coming in for treatment with me. It's going well, we're making progress, and then for whatever reason we hit a wall and, they start to decline in their progress. I need to be able to provide that documentation and that information to the next reference or specialist, or referral rather, the next referral or specialist that they're going to see, whether that's an orthopedic doctor or a, urgent care, emergency, a specific specialist with regards to the condition that they're dealing with, or, whatever the case may be. Documentation is key. And also just to cover myself, it is thoroughly important to just be on top of the documentation for my safety as well as the athletes. So now, without further ado, let's get to the show.
I just scratched my damn self.
Whichever kid can steal the ball from crossover wins their very own big challenge chain. Are you ready? He said he's ready.
I hope so.
Are y'all ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Steal the ball! Steal the ball from crossover. Steal that ball away from crossover. Oh, hey, it's crossing already. We are at 2 seconds. 9, 8, 7, get the ball. 6, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2 seconds. 1 second. It was a three-way tie in there. I don't know what we're going to do about that. But give it up for my 5 contestants. We're going to give them all a prize.
Hey, you guys. As you can see, I am back in my room. I just wanted to end off this video with just a few words, and I'll keep it brief because boy am I tired. But what I do is definitely fun at times. Athletic training can be exhilarating, exciting. It's sports, entertainment, and so many different other arenas that you can work in, such as not just high school, college, professional sports, but as you can see here, you can work with entertainment organizations. You can work with organizations like not only the Harlem Globetrotters, but Savannah Banana. You can work with Cirque du Soleil, and hopefully I'll be able to work with artists and entertainment and things like that. But there's a lot to athletic training that I didn't share with you guys. It's very long hours. It is very chaotic at times. If you get easily overstimulated or overwhelmed, this is not a job for you, for sure. If you're not able to manage yourself and your emotions and not take things personally at times, just because you're always working with so many different personalities as well. Even in my last position when I was working at the college, definitely a lot more students that I had to be in charge of and work with, but completely different in terms of what I'm doing now as well. But again, I gave you guys a sneak peek of behind the scenes of what it's like to be, me as an athletic trainer working with the Harlem Globetrotters now. But if I could have and showed you the behind the scenes of working at a college, or even, there's plenty of other people online who are working at a college. I don't know if they're necessarily doing it and sharing in the same way I am, but nonetheless, every different area has, pros and cons, as well as things that are unique to that specific organization or industry or environment, organization, whatever you want to call it. So, I got to show you guys the fun aspect of what I do. And I would say the job that I'm in now is generally fun. There's not really too much in terms of catastrophic injuries or things that prevent people from doing what they love and staying out on the court.
Are there people who are dealing with some things? Absolutely. And, some of the people that you saw me working on are dealing with some things. And I got their permission. I'm not necessarily going to share the details of what's going on exactly with them. But there are other people who are actually dealing with some things that we're doing rehab for. So, well, they had to see a doctor and they had to get things done. They're not on video and they're not on tape. But they're working through it. And they're absolutely doing what they love still, thankfully, to both of us. Because it takes two, the athletic trainer and the athlete or student or whoever, to be a part of the process. And I'm just grateful enough that I've built myself up and worked on my personality to the point where getting people to trust me and like me and hear my thoughts, feedback, or whatever insight that I can give as an athletic trainer, they definitely listen and they hear me out, and I'm forever grateful for that. Just because I have definitely worked with athletic trainers who were not as great communicating certain things to people, whether it is to their boss, to coaches, or even to athletes. So, it's definitely a skill and not a skill that you're born with. I'm not saying that I was born with it, but I definitely was conscious and aware of the need of communicating and being able to be an effective communicator. And I know for me, my demeanor and how I present myself can sometimes be misconstrued for people, especially when I was younger. So being intentional, being present, being aware of myself and how I show up every single day is something that I have to be mindful of as an athletic trainer. Yes, I can be tired. Yes, I can be, having my days and my moments, but I do not have the luxury of being in a mood or in any way letting my emotions and my life outside of work conflict with what I'm doing, as I think most people don't. But I think for people who work in medical, sports medicine, even, psychology and things of that nature, we don't necessarily get the space to always be able to express our emotions, especially in the workplace or, when it comes to, being frustrated. And sometimes you just have to deal with it and you have to roll with the punches and you still have to figure it out and get shit done, So, I'm grateful and I'm appreciative. And again, I want to thank you for, checking in and just watching. And, I'm hoping that I can get some interviews with some of the players in the near future, just because I think that would be super, super cool. Just because I think there's more to being an athlete than just the athletic part of it. I think, especially when it comes to entertainment, even the professional league as well, I think, they're in media and they're on, their life is sometimes put on the stage, so to speak, depending on, how they present themselves, and how they situate themselves. But even still, these people are famous, they're well known. So, a lot of times it's not just the pressure of work, but it's a whole bunch of other things that come into play that can affect how you play on the court, field, whatever it may be. So, hopefully again, I'll be able to get some cool, different content for you guys related to not just athletic training, not just fitness and nutrition, but the mental aspect of just life, the willingness to dig deep within yourself and you pulling your fullest potential out of yourself so that it can not only be within yourself and on the inside, but it shows up on the outside and how you carry yourself, how you dress, how you express yourself through your clothing, your hair, your personality, and letting that shine and letting that be a magnet towards the people that are meant to be in your life and the people that you're meant to help and impact in a positive way, of course. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this cool video. Again, I really am looking forward to sharing more cool content with you guys on, again, not just athletic training, not just fitness, nutrition, all the things that you have known me for this long. whether personally or here on YouTube, Instagram, but also the mental wellness of yourself, as well as how that impacts the people around you and what you do. Just because if you're not in a good space mentally, how can you do your job effectively? How can you love the people around you effectively? How can you support the people around you effectively? And the community that you serve, how can you really build them up if you aren't giving to yourself, if you aren't building up yourself, if you aren't shining in some way? But for you first. So, again, thank you. Stay tuned for more. And I hope you guys like this video. Check back in. I can't give you a time. I'm struggling with scheduling content. But that's me being real. At least I'm being honest about it. I'm working on it. I'm super glad that I got to, shoot with you guys today. And hopefully we will be here again very soon. And hopefully I'll have a buddy with me so that we can all chop it up and just learn more about each other and grow from it. Alrighty, guys, I will check in with you very soon. Stay cool, stay beautiful, and of course, always be you. Later, y'all.
And that's all she wrote, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and the Harlem Globetrotters for a day behind the scenes with me as an athletic trainer. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe. Check my Instagram out, and there will be more. I promise you. I'm trying to get better. So again, stay tuned. Any questions, comments, comment, and let me know what your thoughts are. See you again soon, guys.